you want to see a roundup of the entire strategy crafting process, steps 1 to 5, I'm doing that today. So stick around and watch this video. Hi guys, my name is Jacques Snyman and I make videos to help you create a more secure future for yourself. I've spoken over the last couple of days about the steps in crafting essentially a plan. I refer to it as the strategy crafting process if you want, and I went through all the steps. I'm going to summarize and round that up today. So 5 simple steps. You start with setting some form of a vision. Where do you want to go, right? And I'm going to look at examples both for my life and for the business that we spoke about. So the very first step is define the vision. What does the picture of the future look like? Almost like a picture of the house on the hill. That's the first step. Second step is what do you want to achieve? So what are the objectives, right? And there you can go into lots of detail. I suggest that we keep it simple for us. So just define the objectives that you want to achieve, right? You can go short, medium, long term. You can go at different levels and different timelines and all sorts of things if you want to really go crazy. But for me right now, keeping it simple, that's the objectives. And then the third step is the big one, right? Where you really have to go and from a business perspective, you have to go and do an external analysis and an internal analysis, then come up with options, then make a choice. Again, we're keeping it simple here. So I looked at the options that I've got as a person to generate an income on the side, i.e. a side hustle, and I made a choice and I started implementing. So that was the analysis, both external and internal, and I'll come back to that because I'm doing more analysis right now. So the third step is do your analysis from a life perspective. That is figure out who you are, what you've got to offer, what are your competencies and skills if you want, what can you offer to the market, and what does the market look like. From a business perspective, that's much more focused and refined. So what is the business that you want to go and do? Go have a look at the market and see who's doing well in that specific market, figure out what they're doing, and then model them, right? There's success kind of leaves clues, guys. So go and model those guys that are already successful. Once you've got the options, you've got to make a choice, and that's one of the critical steps. And then once you've got the choice made, you need to move on and start crafting that little action plan of yours that we spoke about in the previous session. That is just before step 4, which is the implementation or the execution of your strategy, right? That's the 4th step. You start doing things, okay, both from a life perspective and from a business perspective. And then the last step in this process is monitoring and measurement. So once you start doing things, what's working, what's not working? What are the objectives? Are you getting closer or not to your objectives? And what were the targets that you set in terms of those objectives? Monitor where you're going, monitor the output or the outcome or the results of your actions that you're getting. That's the 5th step. Remember, I said before, then there's feedback loops to any one of the previous steps. So once you realize that you're doing something, but it's not giving you the kind of results that you want, then you need to adjust your approach. You need to adjust your plan, right? Many a time you go back to, once you've considered an option and you've implemented it, you go back to looking at analysis and generating more options because the option that you took actually didn't work. So you can go back to any part of this process and rehash that or review that and redo that. So that's the 5 steps. Let me give you a little bit of an example now in terms of both my life and the business. So life is, I said to you guys way back when that the vision is to create a more secure future for me and my family. That really is the vision. The objectives there, I just looked at a few of them, had to do with relationships, finances, and then generating a short-term income, finding the next job or the next project. And then the 4th aspect was mindset work. Those were the objectives that I set. I then went through the process of options generation. What are my options? Okay, where can I go look for a job? Where can I go find the next project? Can I generate income from a business rapidly? Those were the options. And then based on that, I made a choice and I started doing something. So the implementation or the execution of the life part of the strategy, for me, currently the focus is on maintaining my relationships and improving those. And then clearly there's a focus on the financials and the next project, right? So that was the implementation. Now, again, some of those have now been achieved already. It's day 54 on my journey. I monitored and measured continually. And then as I saw what the results or the outcome of certain of those actions and activities were, I adjusted accordingly. That's the life part. Now, the business part is a little bit clearer. Again, part of that process was to determine the vision. And the vision is very simple, guys. I want to create a side hustle, side income of some sort, so that I can, first of all, augment my income, but then over time replace my income. That was the overall vision. The objectives I set was shorter term objectives because I'm starting from scratch, right? So the objectives were things like build a functional business after I've obviously gone through the options. My options were an internet business of some sort, trading, right? In other words, investing some money and then generating income from that money or through that money. And then the third option was to literally go back and generate a new business or create a new business, but brick and mortar this time. I went through the options. For me, I could do the trading option, but there was clearly the option that stood out head and shoulders above all the others was for me to generate some form of an internet business. And again, the focus for me there was on affiliate marketing initially, and then secondly, medium to longer term would be to create my own products, right? I started implementing that, and as I suggested before, this is not business growth yet, this is business establishment. So I'm doing the basic building blocks. I'm busy building a functional business. So I'm creating websites, I'm doing videos, I'm publishing those things, I'm writing stuff. I'm setting up things like affiliate links and payment options and all sorts of things like that. I'm doing the basics and building those building blocks. I'm measuring as I'm going along, and my medium-term target, if you want, or goal that I set for myself is to have the functional aspects of the business sorted by the end of October, 31st of October. I'm hoping to start generating at least the first $1 or $2 shortly after that. There are some options, and I'm busy creating some assets that actually could start creating money rather rapidly. So there's the 5 steps in terms of my little business as well. The visioning part, the objective setting part, the process of doing an analysis and then creating options, making a choice, making a little plan that I'm sticking to. I'm tracking that daily, and then implementing, and then monitoring and measuring. So there's your process. I hope that helps, guys. If you want more info, as per usual, like or subscribe, comment to this. If you want more detail, just drop me a mail. It's in the description of the video.